Welcome to List Lab. Today we're exploring 10 enduring mysteries of ancient Egypt. From puzzling ancient inscriptions to lost tombs and unexplained phenomena, these enigmas continue to fascinate and mystify. Let's begin the countdown. Number 10. The Prehistoric Pharaohs. Ancient Egyptian records hint at rulers from a time before recorded history. A papyrus known as the King List includes not only human pharaohs but also legendary beings, gods, and spirits said to have reigned for thousands of years. According to this list, Egypt had a first time when divine or semi-divine rulers governed the land long before the earliest dynasties. The lengths of their reigns are astonishing, often hundreds or even thousands of years each. Most historians interpret these as myth or symbolism, not literal chronology. Yet their inclusion in official records is intriguing. It suggests the ancient Egyptians believed their civilization stretched back into a deep, forgotten past. Was it merely a creation myth, or could it be an echo of some lost chapter of history? The mystery of these prehistoric pharaohs remains unsolved. Number 9. The Atlantis Connection. Legends of Atlantis usually center on ancient Greece, but few realize the tale came through Egypt. Over 2,300 years ago, the Greek lawmaker Solon visited Egyptian priests who told him about a great island civilization that vanished beneath the sea. According to the story recorded by Plato, this catastrophe happened 9,000 years before Solon's time, and the Egyptians have preserved the memory of it. Some speculate that survivors of this lost civilization might have shared their knowledge with early Egypt, possibly explaining the sudden advances in Egyptian architecture and science. Mainstream scholars view Atlantis as a myth crafted to convey moral lessons, not a historical event. Still, the fact that Egyptian records were the source of the Atlantis story leaves us wondering, did the priests of size reveal a genuine ancient memory, or were they recounting a cautionary legend? The connection between Egypt and Atlantis remains an alluring enigma. Number 8. The Lost Labyrinth. Ancient writers spoke of a monumental labyrinth in Egypt, a sprawling complex said to contain thousands of chambers. The Greek historian Herodotus claimed to have seen it, describing it as more impressive than the pyramids. According to his account, the labyrinth had 12 great courts and underground levels filled with endless rooms and winding halls. It was likely located at Hawara, near a pyramid south of Cairo, and built during the Middle Kingdom. Archaeologists in the 19th century found traces of massive foundations there, suggesting that the labyrinth was real, but later dismantled for stone. In recent years, ground-penetrating scans have detected large rectangular structures beneath the sands at Hawara, hinting that parts of the maze still lie hidden. High water tables and time have prevented full excavation, so the true extent of this complex remains unknown. What treasures or secrets might be sealed in its buried corridors? Until the site can be explored further, the Lost Labyrinth of Egypt endures as a tantalizing mystery. Number 7. The Vanished Queen. Nefertiti, the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, was one of the most powerful women of her era. Then she suddenly vanished from history. In the later years of Akhenaten's reign, around 1330 BC, records of Nefertiti ceased without explanation. Scholars have long debated her fate. Some theories suggest she fell from favor or changed her name and ruled briefly as a pharaoh herself under another identity. Others speculate she died of disease and her death was kept quiet. To this day, her tomb has never been found, despite her prominence. Recently, researchers have scanned the walls of Tutankhamun's tomb, believing a hidden chamber could conceal Nefertiti's burial. Initial radar results were intriguing, though subsequent tests have been inconclusive and no chamber has been opened. The beautiful queen's disappearance and the location of her mummy remain one of Egypt's most enduring archaeological riddles. Number 6. The Last Pharaoh's Tomb. After Cleopatra VII and her lover Mark Antony died in 30 BC, it was written that the Roman conqueror allowed them to be buried together. Yet, over 2 millennia later, the tomb of Egypt's last pharaoh has never been discovered. Ancient accounts suggest Cleopatra's mausoleum was a grand monument in or near Alexandria, possibly lost to earthquakes and rising seas over time. Parts of Alexandria's old royal quarter now lie underwater, fueling theories that her tomb might also rest beneath the harbour. Archaeologists have searched on land and sea. One excavation at a nearby temple site uncovered a hidden tunnel and clues hinting at a royal burial, but no definitive find. The possibility of finding Cleopatra's resting place remains enticing. It would be a historic discovery. For now, the location of the famous queen's tomb is an unsolved puzzle, hidden somewhere in the sands or depths of Egypt. Number 5. The Egyptian Lightbulb. Deep in the temple of Dendera, a curious carving depicts something that looks shockingly modern, a large bulb-like object connected to a cable and a box. Inside the bulb shape, a serpent coils like a filament. This odd scene has sparked a theory that ancient Egyptians invented an electric light. Enthusiasts point to the absence of soot on tomb ceilings and suggest they might have used such light devices instead of open flame. Mainstream Egyptologists, however, read the image very differently. They explain it as a mythological scene, a lotus flower spawning a snake that symbolizes a god, with the cable actually a ritual symbol, not a wire. No physical evidence of electrical technology has ever been found in Egypt, and the carving sits among purely religious imagery. Still, the Dendera light bulb captures our imagination. Is it an ancient technology ahead of its time, or just an allegory misinterpreted by modern eyes? The truth remains debated. Number 4. The Hall of Records. For decades, rumors have persisted of a secret chamber buried beneath the Great Sphinx at Giza. According to legend, this hidden vault, often called the Hall of Records, holds the ancient wisdom of a lost civilization. The idea was popularized by mystics in the 20th century who claimed that Atlantean knowledge or sacred scrolls were concealed there in antiquity. This tantalizing myth prompted several scientific surveys around the Sphinx. Researchers using seismic instruments and ground radar did find unexplained cavities and hollows under the monument's pores. However, investigations so far have not revealed any man-made chamber or library. Egyptian authorities have drilled and explored some areas, but nothing conclusive was uncovered. Most likely, the voids are natural fissures in the limestone bedrock, yet the legend refuses to die. The notion of a hidden archive of ancient knowledge waiting under the desert has kept adventurers and dreamers intrigued, even as experts remain skeptical. Number 3. The Ageless Sphinx. The Great Sphinx of Giza is officially about 4,500 years old, but could it be far older? A controversial theory suggests that this massive half-lion, half-human statue might predate the pharaohs traditionally credited with its construction. Geologists have noted unusual erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body and enclosure walls. These deep vertical grooves look more like damage from heavy rainfall than from mere wind and sand. Egypt's climate hasn't seen significant rain for thousands of years before the Sphinx was supposedly carved, hinting it may have stood through an earlier, wetter age. Some researchers propose the Sphinx could be 7,000 to 10,000 years old, possibly originally carved as a lion long before dynastic Egypt. They point to the small size of the current head, suggesting it was reshaped from a weathered lion's head into a pharaoh's likeness later on. Egyptian archaeologists dispute these claims, attributing the weathering to other factors and noting the lack of other advanced structures from such an early date. The true origin and age of the Sphinx remain hotly debated, leaving us to wonder just how old that mysterious guardian really is. Number 2. The Pyramid Enigma. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza is an engineering marvel that still mystifies. Built around 4,500 years ago for Pharaoh Khufu, it stands 146 meters tall and contains over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 70 tons. How did ancient builders move and lift such massive stones with only primitive tools and no machines? Theories abound. Some believe large, straight or spiral ramps were built to drag the blocks into place. Others suggest water may have been used to float stones part of the way, or that a vast workforce with ingenious levers and sledges achieved the feat over decades. The interior design adds further mystery. Narrow shafts inside the pyramid align with stars, and no writings explain the pyramid's exact purpose. Unlike other royal tombs, Khufu's pyramid held no mummy when discovered, sparking speculation that it might have served a deeper symbolic or technological function beyond a burial. While archaeological evidence indicates skilled Egyptian laborers and planners did the work, the precise methods and motivations remain partly speculative. The Great Pyramid stands as a silent enigma and ancient puzzle, in plain sight. Number 1. The Curse of the Pharaohs. Not all Egyptian mysteries are about monuments. Some are about misfortune. According to legend, anyone who disturbs the tomb of a pharaoh risks invoking a curse. This fear gripped the world in 1922 when Howard Carter opened the tomb of King Tutankhamun. A few months later, Carter's benefactor, Lord Carnarvon, died suddenly from an infection, and the media sensationalized it as the mummy's curse. Over the years, several others connected to Tutankhamun's excavation also died unexpectedly, feeding the legend that the ancient magic had struck them down. In reality, many key members of the expedition lived long lives, and scientists suspect any deaths were coincidental or perhaps due to long-sealed pathogens in the tomb. Yet the idea of a pharaoh's curse had already taken hold. It harkened back to warnings inscribed in some tombs that promised doom to trespassers. Whether by superstition, coincidence, or something beyond explanation, the story of the pharaoh's curse remains a haunting part of Egypt's lore. It reminds us that even as we uncover Egypt's secrets, those secrets might just reach back at us from beyond the grave. Which of these ancient mysteries did you find the most intriguing? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into Egypt's enigmas, remember to like the video and subscribe to ListLab for more explorations of history's greatest mysteries.